it's Sinead. So we had a bit of a technological mare this evening where we had recorded our weekly updates and we had recorded the news and all of that good stuff, and then my garage band shit itself and we had to start again basically. Well, we didn't start again. We continued on the episode via Zoom on the off chance that my garage band would start working. It didn't. So you're just getting the ideal meal segment of the podcast. We'll cover off the news next week, no doubt. So this is where we're drinking and snacking around the world. Please feel free to join along with us. Also, at the end of the episode, there'll be a little intro for my new podcast, Cheaper Than Chainsaw, which is a horror movie podcast. That's already released. There's links in the show notes. Sorry. Sometimes technical issues just happen, and yeah, so enjoy the rest of the podcast. Hello. Slight change in quality. We're having minor technical issues, so either you'll have heard the news, great, or here we are. Hello. My garage band has decided to freeze. So we'll see if we can keep the other 40 minutes that we've recorded. If not, welcome to Ideal Meal, part 3?
Yes.
Part 3. EPCOT.
Yeah.
Around the world.
So, that's the wrong window. I just went through all the things on that website and picked my favorite ones.
So again, as we've mentioned before, always linked in the show notes is the AllEars website that has every menu you could ever possibly need. And it makes doing these much easier. So if you would like to play along.
A lot easier. This took me about maybe half an hour, 45 minutes.
Yeah.
I would have been days.
Yeah.
Days doing this by myself.
Yeah. And in true Kate and Sinead fashion, we've both done spreadsheets.
But my spreadsheet's just a continuation from the very first imagination vacation. I have everything on the one spreadsheet.
See, I write mine out on my iPad because I like the thing of writing them. But I was like, there's too many things to be able to write them. So this is a copy-pasty job.
Yeah, I did a lot of copy and pasting.
Now, what I did with mine was I did place the name of the thing, what the description is, and the cost.
So I didn't take the cost for all of them because not all of them had a cost.
Okay.
So I have the country, the thing, and where it's from.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
Cool. Should we just go pavilion by pavilion?
Yeah, that might be the easiest because if I talk for ages and you talk for ages, that might be a bit boring for the 5 people that listen to us.
So we're starting in Mexico because if you start anywhere else, you're wrong. And we go clockwise because we are not heathens.
I was just told to do it this way.
I know one way is right, one way is wrong, but which way is right?
Which way is the right way? I assumed it was this way because personally it feels wrong to go clockwise around something. It doesn't feel correct.
And on that point, was listening to the latest episode of the Theme Park Trader, and they're doing a new series where they're going through each of the lands in Magic Kingdom. So they did Main Street first. Mm-hmm. And then they went to Tomorrowland, and it greatly stressed me out.
No,
I was like, Ryan and Dan, what are you doing?
Never would you go to Tomorrowland first.
Honestly,
what heathen? That's heathenous.
Mm-hmm.
That is incorrect.
Mm-hmm. I'm glad you are supporting me in this because I was like, why are you? What? Why are you? What?
No,
why go that way?
That is wrong.
Very confused.
So Mexico, do you want to start?
Sure. So we picked a food item and a drink in each pavilion, or at least I did. You did as well, yes?
Yeah, I ended up picking a main, a drink, and then either a dessert, a snack, or a starter, depending on where we are.
A food item and a drink in each, but that's fine.
Half an extra second on each one to say what it was, anyway.
So for Mexico, my food item is from La Cantina.
Nice.
And I want the guacamole with Turtubos, which is fresh made guacamole with tortilla chips, because you can't go wrong with chips and guac. $10. Happy days.
So expensive for chips and guac, but anyway. Let's not. We'll be here all day being like, that's so expensive.
And then my drink is from La Cava del Tequila, and it is the blood orange margarita. I love a blood orange. I fucking love a margarita. So obviously I was going to want this. This is tequila, orange liqueur, sweet tart mix of blood orange, hint of rum and vanilla with a tagine chili lime powder rim. And that's $16.
Nice.
Get in my face.
So there was this TikTok and it was like, things I'd like inside me. The COVID vaccine, iced coffee.
Oh, that's a mood. Yeah.
Right. So for my Mexico, I picked tacos de polos.
Beautiful.
So chicken tacos, which is seasoned chicken served on homemade corn tortillas, Mexican rice, refried beans, and red salsa. From La Cantina de San Angel. For $14.25. Some of them have prices. If they have, I'll read them out. Then I also picked just the giant tostada from La Hacienda, which is a tostada with barbacoa beef, chipotle black beans, chorizo, Mexican sour cream, and pickled onions, because that just sounded fucking fantastic. And you know what I miss? The barbacoa burrito that you get in... No, not Boojum. The other one.
Calteca?
The one down by Disney. No.
Pablo Picante.
Pablo Picante, yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't had a barbacoa burrito from there in so long. And I used to have them so often.
Come here to me. When the 5K lifts and we can actually see each other, can we like get takeout food from Pablo Picante's and go sit in the park?
Yeah, burritos.
Ooh, I want one of those sandwiches.
Woo, woo, woo. Tomorrow, completely off topic there, but tomorrow me and Ed are thinking about walking pretty much down to Phibsborough almost. Not quite Phibsborough, but just before it. Maybe Phibsborough, we might see. But because there's a little coffee place in like the Gap Hitch. And they amazing coffee. They literally just won an award for it. But they have like homemade juices and they start doing iced coffees and all this sort of stuff. And I was like, if we're walking that far, I wonder if we could get Deliveroo Mad Egg to Phibsborough and just sit in the park, because Mad Egg don't Deliveroo as far as us, but I think they deliver to Phibsborough.
Why not? I've done that before. I remember at the start of lockdown, I was getting a chipper, and the like closest chipper to us doesn't deliver to us, but it delivers to the garage. It delivers to like the just up the road from us. So we parked in the garage and got it delivered to the garage.
Like,
so.
And I'm like, yeah, that sounds
the
good.
things we do in Ireland, but anyway.
And then my drink was a wild strawberry frozen margarita, which has tequila blanco, strawberry, and pickly pear puree, and Leia. I'm gonna say it's Leia with a silent J, creme base.
Nice.
And that's from Jose de Margarita. I don't want to say these things wrong, but you know what? I'm white. There's only so much I can do.
So
at least I'm not a man. What can I say?
There we go. So next up, we're going to Norway. So both of my things are from the Kringla Bakery.
Nice.
So I went for the school bread, which I feel like is the thing that everybody gets.
That's a good one. Yeah.
Which is a sweet roll filled with custard and dipped in coconut for $4.50, and it sounds and looks, because I've seen it on vlogs, delightful. Looks very, very nice. And then I went for a Viking coffee, which it's flavored with Kimura coffee liqueur and Bailey's Irish cream.
There was a fair bit of Jameson and Bailey's in a lot of these, and I have to say.
Now, lads, don't get us wrong. We know we do things well. But
stop shoehorning them into other people's cultures.
Yeah. So that was $13. And I mean, a boozy iced coffee, I'm here for.
I really want nice coffee. From Norway, I got the traditional Norwegian meatballs served with mashed potatoes, seasonal veg, and lingonberry sauce from Akershus. Because, lingonberry jam is top tier jam to go with meat, and no one else can argue with me. Then for my
other jams to go with meat,
cranberry sauce, mint jelly.
That's not a jam.
It's a the
Gelatinous
coaches.
thing.
Yeah. Then from Kringla Bakery, I got Verdun's Best Cake, which is vanilla cake with custard and almond meringue topping. Because that just sounded great. And then for my drink, I got a Prince of Norway, which is a royal blend of apricot brandy, sloe gin, sour mix, and orange juice. And that's also from Akershus. And it was only $10.50. I thought that was a bargain.
That is not bad.
$10.50. That's like $9.75.
That's not bad.
That's really not that bad.
Yeah. So next up we have China. Now I have to say, my food options in China were few and far between.
Were they limited? Yeah.
Very limited. Now again, I was mainly sticking for like snacky things. I picked one place to have like a meal. I'm very excited about it. So from the Lotus Blossom Cafe, I'm getting caramel ginger ice cream because that sounds delightful.
Nice.
Just $3.75. And then my drink is from the Joy of Tea, and it's the Tipsy Ducks in Love, which is bourbon whiskey, coffee, black tea, cream, chocolate syrup for $12.50. That sounds unreal.
Wow, that sounds great.
That sounds so nice. Big fan.
So for my China, I got pot stickers, which are pan-fried chicken and vegetable dumpling served with soya dipping sauce from Nine Dragons. And I also got, I went a bit wild here, I got banana cheesecake egg rolls. Serves two, drizzled with caramel sauce and served with a choice of ice cream, also from Nine Dragons.
Amazing.
And then my drink is also from Joy of Tea, and it's bubble milk tea sweetened, peach flavored black tea with tapioca pearls. I've had bubble tea before, and I didn't like it. But there's just something about bubble tea that I'm like, yeah.
Bubble tea seems like it would be your aesthetic.
Yeah, I think I just need to find the right flavor. The last time, because the little tapioca pearls, you can get loads of different flavors of them. I think the first time I got them, I just got them like original flavor, but I think I need them like a fruit flavor or like a cream based one. Because you can get ones that, not to sound disgusting, but you get tapioca pearls that like when you bite them, you have to chew them almost like a sweet, and other ones where they like pop. So I think I need the popping ones. But anyway, that was my China.
Fair. I did the African Outpost. Did you do the African Outpost?
No, didn't realize I was supposed to do that.
That's all right. I'll quickly whiz through mine. Both things are just from the African Outpost. So I got the Outpost lemonade, which is frozen lemonade and absolute vodka. Sounds delightful. Which is $15. And then I got soft serve ice cream. You can get strawberry, banana, or a swirl in a waffle cone. I would want a swirl.
Swirl.
Why would you not get a swirl? $5.25.
Correct. If the option's there to swirl, you got to swirl.
Exactly. So after that, we've then got Germany. So for my food option, I'm going to Summerfest, and I'm just getting a jumbo pretzel because I feel like that many drinks in, I'm going to want a jumbo pretzel.
That's what I thought too.
Never in my life do I not want a jumbo pretzel, but definitely this many drinks in, I'm going to want a jumbo pretzel. So that is $9.39, which is a really bizarre price. And then for a drink, because I don't drink beer, I actively detest beer. From Biergarten, I've gone for a shot of Jägermeister for $12.
I mean, when in Rome.
Exactly.
For Germany, I also picked a jumbo pretzel. All like the sit-down restaurants, it is all just pretty much buffet. Everything is buffet. So I just wrote, "It's all a buffet?" ? Yeah. And then for my drink, I chose a Schofferhofer pink grapefruit Hefeweizen, served in a souvenir stein from Summerfest. And that was $14.50. And I mean, in a stein as well.
I have heard that the grapefruit beer is meant to be lovely. I just really don't like beer.
See, I've had beers that are like very heavily sweetened, like stuff like this. And I'm like, yeah, I'd probably drink it.
I'm trying to think, what is that with their grapefruit beer? I feel like Elvis Juice is from Brewdog is grapefruit.
Maybe.
I don't know. So next up is Italia. So both of my things are from the Italian gelato kiosk. So I've gone for a gelato sandwich, which is any gelato flavor sandwiched between 2 chocolate chip cookies. And I was just like, yes, please, I'll have several, which is $8. And then for my drink, I went for an Italian margarita, because again, she loves a margarita. So frozen blend of strawberry, banana, and peach nectars for $10.
Nice. For me, for my main, because I'm obviously eating a full meal everywhere we go. I picked a peto di pollo, which is again grilled chicken, fettuccine pasta, parmesan and cream. It's basically a chicken parmesan, which is what I regard with American Italian or Italian American, whichever way you want to put it. For my snack, I got calamari, because obviously.
You do love calamari.
So the first one was from Tutto Gusto Wine Cellar. The second one's from Tutto Italia Ristorante.
Oh.
And then my drink, I got a Bellini. So Prosecco sparkling wine with peach puree from Italy Donkey.
Oh, brilliant. What a great name.
$13. Again, Disney pricing. I'm like, that's pretty fine. Because if you think about getting a Bellini in like a cocktail bar, like 12 quid, yeah.
Yeah, that's not bad.
Sounds about right.
So next up is America. So this is where I'm having my like meal.
Oh, okay.
So I'm going to Regal Eagle Smokehouse and I'm getting their barbecue jackfruit burger, which comes on garlic toast as a bun. And I'm like, garlic bread as a bun? Yes, please.
Ow.
So it's plant-based burger topped with barbecue jackfruit, and then you can get a choice of side. So I picked fries, but I would absolutely also want the onion rings.
Fair.
So that's $12.99. And then my drink is also from Regal Eagle Smokehouse, and it's a Tennessee lemonade, Jack Daniel's Tennessee whiskey with Odwalla lemonade and peach, $14.
That sounds nice.
Love me a whiskey lemonade.
That sounds really nice. I'd like one of those. From Merca, I got Memphis dry rub pork ribs, dry rubbed and slow smoked in our pit, served with garlic toast and your choice of side. Also from Real Eagle Smokehouse.
Nice.
For my like dessert, the snack thing, I got a funnel cake with sugar because nothing says America like a funnel cake.
Mm-hmm.
And then for my drink, I got a Cider Boy Strawberry Magic Hard Cider.
Ooh.
I think it's from Wisconsin. And that's from Block and Hands.
Nice.
Yeah. I really like... Now, you can't drink loads of them because one, wildly bad for you, but also quite makes you feel quite sick if you drink a lot of them. But I really like flavor, like strawberry flavored and fruit flavored cider. But you could only like maybe 2. After that, got to switch to like Jameson.
Big same. So for Japan, again, also kind of struggled to go for food, but still. What I would probably realistically get would be go into Mitsukoshi and get a box of Pocky, because I fucking love Pocky.
Oh, yeah.
But from Kabuki Cafe, I've gone for a kakigori. Don't know if I'm saying that right. Which is shaved ice topped with fruit syrup. So you can get a choice of strawberry, melon, cherry, tangerine, blue raspberry, or rainbow, which is a choice of 3 flavors for $4.50. And I feel like in that Florida heat, that would be terrifically refreshing.
Yeah. See, that's what I was thinking with my strawberry cider.
Yeah. And then from the Garden House, I've gone for there's a running theme here now. Blood orange lemonade, which is refreshing blends of Japanese sake, plum wine, lemonade, and blood orange for $9. $9, very cheap.
For sake, yeah.
Yeah. Big fan.
For me, I got the Takumi Genuki, which is artisan beef A5 Wagyu tenderloin, leek sauce, warashita, curried potato, and seasonal mushrooms. That is from Takumite, and it is $120.
The second you said Wagyu, I feel like Wagyu is a thing that I only ever hear vloggers talk about. Like, I feel like I never hear an actual person talk about Wagyu.
I mean, Wagyu's been a thing before, way before vloggers have been a thing.
No, absolutely. But like, I feel like I only ever hear vloggers talk about Wagyu.
Yeah, so this is the Wagyu that's from Japan, and it's $120. And if you scroll down the list, there's some Wagyu that's from America, and it's only like $85. So
you need the good Japanese Wagyu.
Yeah, right? Like, if I'm doing this, I'm doing it well. Then for my drink, I've literally written down sake, but I want the waiter to buy sake for me, because if I'm just having sake with my meal, I want the waiter to be like, this is the sake that should go with your meal, and it symbolizes this, and all this sort of stuff. That's what I want for my sake. And then for... It's all the rage at the moment, Emoji Ice Cream. You get 6 pieces, green tea, strawberry, chocolate, mango, and vanilla. Nice. And it's from the Japanese ice cream cart.
Nice.
Yeah. I honestly think Japan is where I'd have the most fun.
Yeah. Like, just bopping around Mitsukoshi and just like picking out all the sweets and stuff.
Yeah. And by that point, we are
flutered. Absolutely flutered. So then we're going to Morocco. So from the Tangerine Cafe, I've gone for a pistachio baklava. Layers of phyllo pastry with pistachios and honey syrup. It's only $2.50, so I'm like, I'm at least getting 2.
Because at this point, we're starving.
Oh, fuck it, like. And then from Oasis Sips and Sweets, blood orange mimosa because Sinead likes a blood orange.
Why did you get the same thing everywhere?
Because I love blood orange. But
I
it's
was
slightly different. The one's a margarita, one's a lemonade, one's a mimosa. It's fine. It's fine. That's $13.
I also got the baklava, just to get that out of the way.
Mm-hmm.
For my main, I got a beef couscous, braised, served with raisin, honey, sesame seeds, and egg from restaurant Marrakesh. My drink is a kashba coffee, which is coffee mocha with Godiva chocolate liqueur, top of whipped cream and nutmeg. Because
Nice.
sounds nice to me.
That sounds delightful.
Yeah, indeed.
Next up is France. So from my food thing, from L'Artisan de Glaces, I've gone for a macaron sandwich because that just sounds delightful. So chocolate or seasonal ice cream between two macarons, $4.69. And some of the seasonal ones that they had, there was like a peanut butter one, there was a honeycomb one, and I was just like any and all between two macarons, I'd be a big fan. And then, so the drink that I went for a frosé as my drink, which is frozen rosé, vodka, and peach for $12.50. But I have also seen there's one place where you can get like a scoop of French gelato, and then like I think like almost like a prosecco or something on top of it. So it's almost kind of like an ice cream float, but it's a boozy ice cream float. And I'm like, that, but I couldn't find that on any of the menus. But I have seen it on videos.
Huh.
Yeah.
Okay. For me, I picked roasted duck from Monsieur Paul. I also picked the salade de chèvre chaud, which is baked goat cheese with walnuts, fresh grapes, tomatoes, endives, and mixed salad from Chef de France.
I'll have that as well.
Yeah, right. And then for my drink, I literally was like champagne.
Champagne.
Because like when I think of Disney and I think of France, I think of champagne on Main Street, which we've never bought.
Can we do it when we go back? Like the first day we're back. Ooh, my voice like my voice has totally broken.
Your innards got so excited.
But yeah, we're doing champagne on Main Street.
Oh yeah, fuck that. When we eventually get back to Disneyland Paris, I'm bringing over double the amount of money I usually would. And being like, fuck this, because champagne every day.
Yeah.
And that's from Le Vin de Chef de France.
Yes. So next up is the the UK Pavilion, which
I didn't even want to do this one.
I would be concerned. Like I would worry I would get on a table and start reading out the proclamation. I can't speak. You would swear I've drank each of these drinks.
We'd get to the UK and you'd be like, here now, this is the Irish proclamation.
But I feel like I'd pick up a menu and be like, see this thing called Black and Tan? Let me tell you why this is problematic. But moving on from that. So from the Yorkshire County Fish Shop, I would just want chips. They don't have chips listed by itself, but I feel like at this stage of being drunk, some like chippery style chips would go down real good.
I also feel like they'll definitely just sell you chips.
Yeah. Like I just want chips. I don't want the fish. I just want chips. And then out of pure stubbornness, I would want to get an Irish whiskey flight because I'm like, fuck you, I want to drink some good Irish stuff. So you get Tullamore Dew, you get Jameson, and you get a bit of Bushmills for $17. Fair. Do I need 3 types of whiskey at the second last pavilion? Absolutely not. But here we are.
Then, so I picked fish and chips from Rose and Crown, sticky toffee pudding, and oh my god, did I not do Canada?
Did you not do Canada?
I didn't do Canada.
Oh.
I was like, why am I missing one? And it's because it's not there. And then just for the crack, and probably so that I could shout at them about it, I picked the Leaping Leprechaun, because why the fuck is there a drink called the Leaping Leprechaun in the UK Pavilion? And also, it doesn't make any sense. It's Irish whiskey with Donkey Crystal rum, Savida vodka, melon liqueur, and sweet and sour topped with Sprite, served in a souvenir cup. It's got countries.
Yeah. Strange.
It's really weird.
Strange. So for Canada, for me, both of my things are from Le Cellier, and I feel like because I've mentioned them on basically every single episode we've done of these, I have to go for the maple whiskey glazed Brussels sprouts because that just sounds delightful.
That's fair.
So they're $10, and then also from Le Cellier, I've gone with a maple old fashioned, which is Canadian whiskey with muddled fruit, chocolate and orange bitters, and a splash of soda for $15.
Nice. I'm just here. I have it. I can pick one.
Okay.
Ooh, warm fingerling potato salad. Yeah.
I do love a potato salad.
Bacon, wilted spinach, capers, whole grain mustard sauce, and bordelaise butter. Yeah, nice.
There you go.
That sounds good. And then
There's not a lot of drinks listed.
no, just the old fashioned. I mean, yeah.
Sounds nice,
Maple creme brulee. Why don't they have? Oh, they do. Never mind. I'd get poutine.
You get poutine?
I'd just get poutine. I was like, why don't they have
That's
poutine? But they do.
I would also probably at this stage, because I'm assuming at this stage we're just gonna like have the food here, then get on a Skyliner and go back to whatever resort we're staying at, because I'm assuming we're staying at a Skyliner resort based
Obviously.
off the previous planning that we've done.
That makes sense.
But I would also want a bag of, you can get ketchup crisps
Ooh.
in Canada.
Oh, the Canada ones.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I feel like I'd get a bag of them and probably have an extra pretzel in my bag as well, because I'll want that again. But I've added up the full cost of mine and it's $246 before tax.
That's not that bad. I was expecting it to be a lot more. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
But like knowing that we could probably snack and drink and like one substantial meal for like about $300.
Mm-hmm.
If you budgeted it, I'm just saying, when it comes to when it comes to Disney, if you budget it in, nothing's impossible. You just have to pick.
This entire time, it sounds like we have.
Oh,
but we haven't.
Maybe we should have.
Sounds like we have.
Maybe we should have been doing shots or something.
Oh God, imagine.
It's Paddy's Day tomorrow. Like neither of us have anything else to do.
Hey.
So yeah. That is ideal meal for all of EPCOT, not including any of the festivals because we're only human.
Oh yeah, no, can't be doing that.
Absolutely not.
But if you were going to join us in drinking and snacking around the world, what would you have?
Yeah, please let us know. If you want to hit us up, it's at Mickey Waffles Pod on Instagram. We also have a Twitter. It's at Mickey Waffle Pod. Only Sinead looks at that, so there you go.
Even then, it's rare.
Yeah, well, it's also rare that we look at the Instagram, but
me and Kate also have other podcasts. Kate has The Christmas Cracker. A new episode will have come out on Wednesday. There'll be a link in the show notes.
If I edit it in time.
There we go. It'll be out some stage. And then I have Cheaper Than Chainsaw, which is launching this week. Again, link will be in the show notes. And if you're listening on an Apple device, please give us a rating and review. We would very much appreciate it.
Or just thanks for listening. That's also appreciated. Also, thanks to the people that actually message us on Instagram. It's really sweet.
Yeah. Big.
So yeah, thanks much for listening, guys. This has either been a lengthy podcast or an extremely short one. And I currently don't know. So
neither do I.
Do. Either way, thanks so much for listening, guys, and we'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye. Hello, good evening, and happy haunts. Welcome to Cheaper Than a Chainsaw. My name is Sinead, and I am joined by my co-host.
I'm Dougie. Hello.
You are Dougie. Well done. You got your name right. So
yeah, I'm always really impressed with myself when I get that far.
I mean, it's an impressive feat. So, hello, we are Cheaper Than a Chainsaw. This is just going to be a little intro episode before the first episode. I mean, they're getting released at the same time. So, once you've listened to this, you'll get some context, and then you can go listen to whatever the hell I end up thinking of Leprechaun. Because you already have your thoughts on Leprechaun.
I do. And that's kind of the point of this, right?
Yeah.
You are the new blood.
I am. So, basically, I spent a whopping 29 years convinced that I was far too afraid to be watching horror movies. And I just decided in 2020, given the year that 2020 was, that this was the peak time to start watching horror movies. And turns out I absolutely love them. So I have watched a fair few, and I've watched a good few of the big named classics. But the aim, I suppose, is for, I don't know, me to continue watching movies that I haven't seen, because the good thing about the horror genre is that there's about 10 million movies, so I'll never be bored.
It's been around for a very long time, so we have plenty to be getting through, and I can't wait. So I'm here because I love horror and have for a long time. So
When
I'm
did you
just
get into horror?
like I was really when I was a kid. I was really into sort of kid horror,
Okay.
which I think in the 90s was this like massive thing.
What do you mean by kid horror?
Like horror that is aimed at children, child-safe horror. So like you had books like Goosebumps and Shivers and stuff like that, and then TV shows again. You had Goosebumps, Eerie Indiana, Are You Afraid of the Dark? Like, Are You Afraid of the Dark was brilliant. All these things that were sort of like took the horror conventions but made them safe for kids to watch.
Yeah.
And that just led to me, I think, my proper obsession with horror probably started when I was around 12.
Oh, okay.
And I saw a trailer on TV for Jason X, of all movies. I thought that this seemed like the coolest thing that I'd ever seen.
I'm laughing because whilst I haven't finished the Friday the 13th franchise, I have seen Jason X, and it is the most absurd movie.
It's a ridiculous movie. I love it. I am very much a Jason X fan, which I think is quite rare, but it's a ridiculous movie. But it just got me sort of obsessed with horror. And I think I was in the local library, and they had this huge book that purported to be a mini review of every horror movie made from 1901 onwards.
Oh, okay.
And I would just spend hours poring over this book, learning about horror movies, reading the reviews of different horror movies. Whoever wrote it hates the kind of horror movies that I love. I love slasher movies, your Halloweens, Friday the 13th, Nightmare on Elm Street, all that kind of stuff. And they obviously hated it because not one of them got a good write-up. But I just kind of got obsessed with horror as a genre.
Okay. I'm going to ask you a real tough question. If you had to pick, what would be... I'll give you two questions. What's your favourite horror franchise, but what's your favourite horror movie?
Favourite horror franchise is Friday the 13th.
Which makes sense. If you're listening to this, you will see our artwork. You will see that it is Dougie very lovingly drawn as the lovely Jason Voorhees.
I don't know, like, I think because Jason X was that sort of first one that piqued my interest in horror, those were the first sort of films that I went after. I think part 4 and part 8 on VHS, back in the days of VHS. And just sort of immediately became obsessed with Jason, and because he just looks cool. Like, he's just... I think he's definitely the coolest looking of the slashers. If you're talking about the big three, he's cooler than Freddy and he's cooler than Michael. Favorite horror movie? It depends what you call horror, right? Because my tied for favorite movie of all time is Silence of the Lambs, which I think is very much a horror movie. They call it a psychological thriller, but I think psychological thriller is a name they give to movies that they don't want to call horror because they are too good to be horror movies.
I mean, I'll put it to you this way. I had always steered clear of Silence of the Lambs because I always thought it would be too scary for me because I assumed it was a horror movie. So.
It's got some horrific stuff in there. I think it's a horror movie. I would call it a horror movie, and it's
got a lad in a skin suit.
Yeah.
What
so
more?
I would say not only my favourite horror movie of all time, but as I've said, tied for my favourite movie of all time. Just
okay.
It's fantastic.
Okay, fair.
So in your brief time, same questions to you.
So I started watching horror movies like properly, like going through a lot of the like big franchises and stuff in October of last year. Like, I pretty much started at the start of October. And I just became completely obsessed with the Halloween movies. I'm a massive, like, Halloween, the time of year, fan anyways. Like, Halloween is my favorite thing in the world. And I just became completely obsessed with the Halloween franchise and all of the various different ebbs and flows. I haven't seen every single one of them. I haven't watched Resurrection, and I haven't watched the 2 Rob Zombie ones. So there are 3 gaps that I have currently in the Halloween series. But I love Michael Myers. I get very excited when he just like slashes all the misogynistic arseholes to bits. It's one of my favorite things. And within the Halloween franchise is my favorite movie that I have encountered so far, which is something that a lot of people hate, but I bloody love. Halloween 3. Halloween 3 is my like, by a country mile is it my favorite horror movie that I've watched so far. It's so weird, but I just love it.
No, I'm entirely with you on Halloween 3. We've had this discussion many times before. It's a film that people write off. It's a film that people just dismiss because it doesn't have Michael Myers in it. Okay.
He's on the TV.
But it's fucking great.
Yeah.
Like, it's a great, weird, just bizarre little movie. And I love it. And I told you before you watched it that I love it. And that I just think it is such an underrated film. Just such an underrated film.
To be fair, like, when I started watching horror movies, I'd mentioned to my co-host of my other podcast, Mickey Waffles, Kate, that I was watching it, and she was like, oh, Ed was saying, Ed's her boyfriend, was saying that you could skip this one because it's not great and it doesn't really fall into the rest of the franchise. And the way I described it for her, like, it's basically like this movie could have easily been written like, write the perfect horror movie for Sinead, and it could basically be this, because it is an Irish guy that is killing all the American children for bastardizing the Feast of Samhain. And it's got kitschy Halloween costumes and kitschy Halloween masks, and it just brings me such untold joy. I bloody love it. It's
its own little thing, and it's utterly fantastic. And I think people are starting to like rethink Halloween 3.
Yeah.
And there's like you see a load of like Halloween 3 merch now and everything, so it's great. People are starting to like realize that it's an absolute fucking cracking film.
Yeah. So if you can probably guess from what we've both said, we're both slasher franchise fans. I have very much enjoyed the slasher franchises, or at least the ones that I've gone through so far.
So what have you watched so far?
So I've watched most of the Halloween movies. I have watched all of the Scream movies. I'm 2 into the Nightmares. And I've watched the Friday franchise up to 6. But as I said, I have seen Jason X, which is a bizarre movie. What else have I watched? I've watched Exorcist, The Shining, The Thing, the Of the Living Dead's Night, Day, Dawn. I've probably got the order wrong, but here we are. Psycho. I honestly can't remember. I've watched a good few. I kind of just ended up spending my entire October during lockdown just ploughing my way through horror movies, which is no bad way to spend it. But we have managed to come up with a fairly extensive list of movies that, for the most part, I haven't seen.
I mean, we're gonna end up coming up against ones that you have, and we'll just talk about them. But there's a lot that you haven't seen, and a lot of the big franchises that you haven't touched on yet. We've got Evil Dead's, Child's Plays, Hellraisers, just all kinds of stuff to go. And then there's just the myriad of one-offs. And
there's a lot of so I ended up watching a lot of the kind of older horror movies. I think the most recent, with the exception of Halloween 2018, because obviously that's the most recent one that I've watched because it only came out in 2018. But the most recent that wasn't like part of an existing franchise that I was watching was probably Trick or Treat, which I think is 2007-ish. So I've avoided a lot of the like big kind of newer ones, honestly, because I think they will scare the bejesus out of me, and I think that's why I feel quite safe. I feel quite safe within the slasher realm, because I'm a big true crime fan, and I feel like they can kind of, whilst obviously there are like some supernatural elements to most of them, for the most part it can kind of feel very serial killery. Which for some reason I feel safer with, but when it starts getting into like ooky spooky paranormally crap, then I get a bit heebie-jeebie.
Yeah, I think that's a big thing for me. I'm very comfortable in my sort of 80s and some 90s horror. 80s was like the era of the slasher movie, and there was multiple slasher movies out a year. They were firing an installment per franchise out a year. It was a great time. I wasn't around for it, but I would have been really happy if I was. And then the 90s was sort of self-aware. And then the first decade of the 2000s was sort of, let's remake everything. And now we're very much into that, like, very sort of supernatural, possession-y, haunting thing. Like, that's the big, big thing just now. Stuff like Insidious and the other one. All the Annabelle stuff and The Conjuring, that's what it's called.
There we go. Yeah, so I haven't really touched any of that. So we'll see how I get on whenever we do.
Are there any particular ones that we have coming up that you're looking forward to, or that you are not looking forward to because you think they might take you out of that comfort zone?
I'm intrigued. So we have Evil Dead coming up in kind of the next couple episodes, and I think I have a feeling I'll enjoy Evil Dead. From what people have told me, it's quite campy, so I have a feeling I will enjoy it. But we also have Hereditary coming up in the first kind of 4 or 5 episodes, and that I am very apprehensive about, because I feel like that will scare the bejesus out of me.
That's one that I actually haven't seen. I have not seen Hereditary yet. Part of the reason I wanted to watch it, but I think we do need to get you watching some modern horror.
I am curious, why have you not seen Hereditary?
I have no idea.
Oh, okay. I just wasn't sure if there was like a specific reason or...
The director, I think, is very good at making films that make people feel uncomfortable. Okay. Like, maybe not so much scared, but uncomfortable. He has a short film. I can't remember what it's called, but it's about a son who is sexually abusing his dad. And I have never felt more uncomfortable watching anything in my life.
Okay.
And that film, like, sat with me for days.
Okay, fun.
So it affected me in a way that no horror movie ever has. So I'm just worried where that guy's head will go in a horror movie, and what he will throw into that. I watch horror movies for fun. Like, I've never found one scary, so I am apprehensive about Hereditary, just because I don't want to be sitting thinking about a film days after.
Okay, fair. Well, I'm feeling very reassured now. Thanks for that. I am curious though. So, are there movies, we've kind of had a discussion, but movies that we're not planning on covering? Where's your head at with that?
So despite what I've just said, I have a no-go on films that cover any kind of sexual assault. I can't watch them.
It's fine by me.
It's too... This is a weird thing to say, right? Because we're talking about slasher movies, which is people getting murdered. But there's something really mean-spirited about films that deal with sexual assault.
Yeah.
I have seen the infamous Last House on the Left, the original. Never seen the remake. And I never want to see that film again.
Okay.
It's just cruel. and yeah, mean-spirited. Like, slashers are kind of they're fun and they're a bit silly, and maybe that's just looking back on it. I know a lot of them were controversial at the time, but it's whatever year it is, 2021.
Yes.
So films from the 80s have just an inherent sort of campiness to them.
Agreed.
But Last House on the Left, which was sometime in the 70s, it's just too uncomfortable for me to watch. And so I've never gone into other films that are very famous and have spawned franchise and stuff like I Spit on Your Grave, which is a rape revenge movie. It's something that I have no interest in going near at all.
Okay.
It's just too unpleasant.
Okay.
Yourself?
I suppose two kind of franchises that I am not massively interested in. First one is Saw. I recall seeing bits of a Saw movie when I was younger, and just gratuitous gore stuff just does nothing for me. I have zero interest in the Saw movies. They're just not a thing that I think I will enjoy. And I also don't think I would be keen on the Texas Chainsaw Massacre franchise, purely because I can't deal with anything that has like animals being killed or dead animals, stuff like that. I can't cope with it. I mentioned that I watched The Thing, and honestly, what like made me feel so on edge during that entire movie was the fact that they were like shooting at dogs. Like, I couldn't cope with it, even though I understood and I understand why it was like part of the movie, but I just can't cope with that. So I think I'll avoid Texas Chainsaw Massacre for a while.
I mean, to both of them, what Saw starts out a bit grim, and then by 3, 4, it's just as ridiculous as any other franchise.
That's a lot of time to invest in something. 3, 4 movies.
This is very true. The Texas Chainsaws are... I don't think they so much have animals getting killed, but dead animals play their part in the film.
Yeah. I don't think I'd be keen. I'm vegetarian. I'm very easily spooked when it's anything to do with animals, as will come up as a regular segment in the podcast.
But no, that's fine. That suits me down to the ground. I will work on you to watch Saw. But
we should probably also address the elephant in the room. The movie that our title comes from, we're not going to cover.
No, it's a bit rapey.
So we'll be avoiding that.
It's just a good title.
It is. To be fair, it's just a good name. So we'll stick with that. So the plan is that we're going to release an episode every 2 weeks. So if you want to watch along with us, it gives you plenty of time to watch the movie. We'll be announcing the movies over on our Instagram page. So again, we'll give you plenty of warning as to what it is that we plan to cover.
That's all I was going to say. Yeah. It will go up on Instagram a week before the next episode. The next movie that we'll be covering, talking about, / Sinead will be experiencing for the first time. And it'd be cool if anybody listens, if people watch along.
Yeah, and feel free to send us your thoughts. Tell us what you think of the movie. Did you enjoy it? Did you not enjoy it? Were the Irish accents just too painful for you? Let us know. So, now that you've listened to this, you should have a fairly decent idea about what the overall plan is. And the first episode is also live at the exact same time, where we discuss Leprechaun, which I'll have seen for the very first time in honor of it being St. Patrick's Day this week. So I'm very intrigued. But Doug, you have a YouTube channel. Do you want to plug your YouTube channel? So if people would like to hear more of the your dulcet tones, they can find you.
No, thank you.
Go on.
Nope.
It'll be linked in the show notes. I have my other podcast called Mickey Waffles, where we discuss all things Disney, just to be the complete other end of the spectrum. And then I also guest on a couple other theme park podcasts called Disney Parks and Beyond and That Universal Podcast, which, given the kind of, I suppose, strong link between Halloween Horror Nights and just horror fans in general, I imagine there'll be a bit of crossover at some stage with those guys. But yeah. Anything else from you, Dougie?
Nope. I am just really, really excited to start watching all of these movies, but very keen to start on Leprechaun.
Yeah, we'll be watching that at the weekend. And then I guess I'll let you know my thoughts. So with that being said, thanks very much for listening, and we hope you enjoy the Leprechaun episode. Bye.
Bye.
This podcast is part of the After Dark Podcast Network.